All right, you guys, it is Jumbo Shark 19, and I am back at you with another Dokkan battle video. And this time we are going to be going over the kits of the brand new Dual Dokkan Fest New Year's units, which are Glorio and Super Saiyan Goku, or Super Saiyan 2 Goku. I didn't, I haven't looked quite yet at the official title. But yeah, so there are some exciting things to talk about. Actually, there's just quite a lot to talk about, right? So in my last video, I went over just the general video as a whole. And I mean, there's a lot coming to Dokkan, right? Basically, in short, they are updating everything. The UI is getting a huge visual overhaul. They're updating sprites with new animations. They're updating the battle screens. The actions that your sprites take look different now. Everything, even the KO screen got a facelift, so a lot to be happy about, a lot to be excited about, especially because the fact that they're investing money and time into updating. I mean, it's not like loading screens, just like okay, whatever, right? Like this is updating. This is a huge update. Like that's gonna have to overwrite a lot of files. Like that's a lot of code. That's a big deal. That's a lot of time investment, is what I'm trying to hint at, trying to say here. And what that tells me is that Dokkan's here to stay for a very long time. I mean, we're going to be going into our 10-year anniversary, and I think it's safe to say what we're going to be seeing another 10, at least, right? I mean, for sure. I mean, this is big. Now, with that, I do have one concern. I am worried about the size of the game. They're going to be adding a lot more stuff. So I don't know. That is something that needs to kind of be addressed because the game is getting quite large there on the good old phone memory. So this is neither here nor there. So yeah, so let's talk about Glorio first. So this was interesting when I was live streaming my live reaction. Someone in the chat mentioned about, despite being a spoiler, because the Dual Dokkan Fest usually is always a super class and an extreme class, and so Glorio being extreme. Basically, if you haven't watched Daima yet, it's okay. You're not alone. I've watched like the first 3 episodes, and I've been keeping up kind of just on spoilers. Not intentionally, but just kind of happens, right? But basically, there's been some hint that this guy right here is going to be a bad guy, and so him being extreme would have kind of spoiled that, but he's not. So that is interesting. That is something of note, though. Man, think how good this art would look without this diamond background. Just saying, just saying. So let's get into it. Let's look at him. We can talk about character selection later, right? Wow, that passive is. Oof, look at that thing. All right. So, leader skill. So, right away, he gets a flat 200% for demonic power. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We've had some recent demonic power units. Um, So adding another 200% leader skill into the mix to a fairly new category is always welcome. Absolutely, nothing wrong with that. Battle of Wits, an accelerated battle, 170 plus an extra 30 to just Dragon Ball Seekers. And you don't get that for the demonic power, which makes sense, right? You're not getting a 230% leader skill. But I don't know. I'd have to really see what that looks like. Um, I don't think that's like horrible. You're probably running him mainly for demonic power though, right? So, I mean, come thinking Battle of Wits, Dragon Ball Seekers. I mean, like this would just factor into like more Daima characters, I imagine, right? So, we'll have to see how it looks. As of right now, like it's not like the strongest leader skill probably, but either way, this is still a W. This is very good. This is not correct. This is pretty good. This is pretty good, and I think that this is gonna dramatically grow. Like Dragon Ball Seekers is going to drastically grow, right? Like I mean, Vegeta's gonna be on there. There's gonna be every Goku, every Daima Goku and Vegeta is gonna be on this. If they release a Shin, a mini Shin or a Bulma or whatever. Like any Daima character is gonna basically be on Dragon Ball Seekers. Boo, the Majin Ku, and Do or whatever his name is, the new one. Spoiler, sorry, but the two nincompoops, if you will, they're going to be on Dragon Ball Seekers because they're hunting the Dragon Balls as well. So this leader skill is gonna get buffed quite a bit. So I wouldn't downplay this at all. Not at all. So mysterious strength passive skill activates entrance animation upon character's entry turn once. So he launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack for one turn. So he has the like cooler effect basically, kind of. Um, so he gets for one turn. So basically, they said in the live stream on his first turn he can super attack 6 times. So that's pretty cool. So after that, after your first turn, then you're only super attacking up to 5 times, right? So okay, interesting. So he gets key +3, attack and defense 200%. So right away you're cooking. That's what you want to see, 200%. Launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super, so you get that attack. That's always good. High chance, 50-50 shot. High chance of evading enemy's attack, so you just get 50% dodge. Okay. Launches another additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack as the second or third attacker in a turn. So that's where the second or third. This is where placement comes into play now. So depending on what slot, we've been seeing this a lot recently, right? But this is a great chance. So that's 70%, right? That's pretty good. He's a support unit as the third attacker in a turn. So he's launching. So he's got a 70% as a third attacker. He's got a 70% of attack launching a super attack, and he gets all allies key +1, attack and defense +50% for 3 turns. Well, I didn't realize that during the reveal when I was reading it. Okay, 3 turns. Wow. Excuse me, I had to take a little water break there for a second because woo, that is very good. Okay, very good. 3 turns. That's that. Yeah, you're cooking with gas. He becomes a great floating support unit. Let's see what else. He's got additional 150% attack and defense when attacking. Okay, so he's at what, 350% now? An additional. Well, and he gets that though. He gets the 50% as the third attacker, so he's at 400%, right? Plus an additional attack and defense +50% with time with each attack performed. So I mean, there you go. I mean, that's just this is actually kind of accurate. Basically, a better physical Rose. I mean, that's kind of how you're looking at it, right? He's building up a lot based on each attack. Additional attack 30% and chance of evading enemy attack up to 30% within the same turn each super attack is from. So that stacks. So he can get up to 80% dodge. He has 50% right away. High chance of evading. So that's 50, 60, 70, 80. He could get up to 80% in a turn if you get 3 attacks. And he launches an additional super every time you launch 3 or more super attacks in battle. Once into turn. Okay. Yeah. Heavenly events. Yeah, because he arrives on Kami's lookout, right? Okay. Yeah. Battle of Wits. Yep, makes obviously. Actually, he's not on many categories. Oh, he has an active. I forgot. He does have an active. Performing 3 or more super attacks. So basically, you're gonna be getting this his second turn more often than not. So let's say you get him turn 1, you float him. You're gonna be getting it turn 4 more often than not, right? For sure. Like if you put him in slot 3, you're getting 3 attacks. I feel very strongly about that. I mean, you have a chance to get 6 attacks your first turn, so yeah. I feel good about getting 3 there. Then his active effect is he greatly raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, and disables the enemy's action. So overall, that's what you're looking for. Disabling the action, very good, very good, very good. Um, these links You're not going to be seeing a lot of these. I don't think. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Because they're gonna release a Goma at some point, right? Like Goma's gonna be ridiculous, I'm sure, and he'll have Master of Magic. Speedy Retribution, though, that one I feel pretty good about. Like you're not seeing that very often. It's expected though. Brainiac, sure. Cold Judgment. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. He greatly raises his attack. So this is interesting, right? This is definitely an interesting effect here. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. So that's really powerful because with how many times he's super attacking, that's what is that? Greatly raise is that 50%, right? So that's pretty high, right? So that's 50% times 6 your first turn, right? 350%. That's pretty good. Immense damage, lowers attack and defense. I mean, for Super Battle Road or something like that, where you can lower and you're able to debuff the enemy like 6 times, 5 times, 3 times, just by one character. That's very powerful. Like that is a powerful ability. So don't lose sight of that for sure. Now this is where it gets interesting. He gets attack plus 9% and defense plus 6% in battle. So if that stacks, which it should, we don't know until the data download for sure. But this looks like an infinite stack. Every time he supers, you're getting attack plus 9%, defense plus 6. That's pretty strong. With how often this guy can super attack, like even after his first turn, okay, you get the 6, right? Like his second turn onward, he can still get up to 5. And now you are floating him, so it's not like you are going to be, he is not going to be stacking as fast as you would think because you would be ideally floating him. But still, man, like you make up for that with how many if you get lucky with his attacks, right? So, I mean, it's pretty. That's not insignificant. That's gonna be pretty good. Especially like if you don't use his active skill right away. Like say you save it, like I don't know, long events, burst mode, something like that. You could nuke. I mean, you could theoretically nuke a little bit, right? I mean, think about that. Attack plus 9%. You get 10 attacks in. That's 90%. Stacking on top of all that other, like the way it multiplicative buffs or whatever, like that's going to impact the active skill immensely, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's not as significant as I'm thinking, but that could be pretty good, right? With how often he attacks, that's gonna be pretty good. So Glorio's looking pretty good. I think a little RNG heavy probably, but I do think this is very good comparison. He's a better physical Rose. But at the same time, like he just has a better. He's got 80% dodge. Like really, like you're running him slot 3. Like you're gonna be getting. I feel pretty good about getting 3 attacks in slot 3, right? So I don't know. He's got the dodge. That's what makes him really good. All right, now this Goku, his animations look peak. He looks really good. So yeah, I love the art. He's int, super int, so that's really interesting. Yeah, so it's just Super Saiyan Goku mini Daima. Okay. Yeah. So let's pop in and let's see what his leader skill is. So Transformation Boost or Dragon Ball Seekers, 170. Um, Additional 30% for Pure Saiyans or Accelerated Battle. Off the top of my head, I think it's gonna be good. It's going to be good. Um, Transformation Boost is always a very powerful category. And I think with 10th I really do think with 10th anniversary around the corner, we're going to see a lot of transformation boost characters. I really do think we're going to be seeing Vegetos and Gogetas. Strapping, strapping. But yeah, I think this is going to be good in the future. Um, transformation boost is going to get a lot of buffs soon. I feel in Dragon Ball Seekers, every Daima character is going to be on Dragon Ball Seekers. So every time they release new Daima characters, it's going to get stronger and stronger. And they did say in the video, right, they're going to release them sequentially. So they have it planned out. Like we're going to be seeing Daima characters intermittently here and there. So we'll be seeing stuff. Um, so yeah, we'll have to see for sure. I mean, the 30% to pure Saiyans is interesting. Huh. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But let's take a look at his passive. So, Serious Fight in the Demon Realm. You have activates entrance animation. So he's got an entrance. Reduces damage by 20%. And chance of evading enemy super attack plus 20% for 1 turn. Okay, my guess is this is going to stack on top of another. Yeah, these are going to stack probably on built-in damage reduction and dodge. So just keep that in mind. For 1 turn, he's going to get an extra 20% for dodge and damage reduction. So, okay, yep, that's what you're looking for, 200%. So yeah, so 30% damage reduction, so he's got 50% for 1 turn right off the bat. High chance of evading enemy super, so he's getting 70% right off the bat for his first turn for free. Okay. So no wonder that's why they're updating the passives to help you keep track of that, right? To really help you keep track of like, okay, this was only for the first turn, ignore this now, right? Because you could get lost in this. I can see that. Especially if you're a kid, like we make fun of, like, oh, Dragon Ball fans can't read, but like, kids do play the game, and this could take a little bit of reading comprehension for sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too generous. Um, Plus an additional defense plus 100% and chance of evading enemy attack plus 20% as the first or second attacker in the turn. So you want him as first or second. So as the first attacker in the turn, he gets 70% dodge all the time. First or second attacker, he's 70% dodge. He's at 90% dodge for 1 turn. His first appearance. He gets an additional attack 100% and an additional attack that has a high chance as the second attacker in a turn. Okay, interesting. So you get more buffs as the second attacker. Interesting. So again, you get to keep track of what slot you're putting him in. An additional defense plus 200% when receiving an attack. So that's only good in slot 1. Okay. Or AoEs. Additional attack 50% up to 200 with each attack received or evaded. Okay, so he's building up quite a bit of attack. Starting from the character's next attacking turn after the character evades the 5th attack in battle. So that comes in a little bit later. Okay, that's interesting. Or starting from the 6th turn from the character's entry turn. Plus, he just for free gets an additional 150%, 159% attack, and he's super effective. Excuse me. So I'm not sure if this only activates after the 6th turn, or if this is just he gets this. I'm not 100% sure. But, I mean, both characters have a lot of dodge. Glorio's a support, and Goku's a damage dealer. But he also has damage reduction. I don't know, 30%. I mean, he's gonna have without his intro. Is this the only damage reduction he has? 30%. See, I don't know. 30% damage reduction isn't enough for slot 1. But you get the extra 200% defense. You have the 70% chance to dodge. I mean, I don't know. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. He's gonna be shooting out some big attacks. Like, let's look at his act. Oh yeah, because let's look at his active and let's look at his super attack effect, because his super attack effect is actually pretty crazy. So it can be activated when he evades 5 or more attacks, or starting from the 6th turn. So not as good as Glorio's. You have to rely on getting attacked. So they really want you to put him in slot 1, huh? So it feels like, right? It massively raises attack and causes ultimate damage. So this is a little bit of a stinker, that you don't get the attack break. Like, why not? Like, they should just each be given the, like, why is this needlessly, like, is this gonna be doing that much more damage than Glorio's that you're like, nah, we have to take away that little extra, the attack break. Is it really? I don't know. I don't see that. I really don't. But maybe, I guess, right? We'll have to see. Um, so yeah, so he doesn't get the attack break, but otherwise it's basically the same and slightly worse condition for sure. So some interesting things to talk about right here, but let's look at his super attack effect, which they're not showing. Wait, oh, what? What? Okay, here we go. So he greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns, um, which is crazy on its own. Like he's gonna be getting a lot of defense and attack. Like he's gonna be attacking. Like I think you build him. I mean, for me, I probably would build him additional because like getting that extra attack and defense, and then he's also a support. He raises allies attack by 41% for 2 turns. That's a lot. That's quite a bit. And you stack that multiple times. Like you put him in slot 2, right? You put him in slot 1 right away because he can handle it right away. No problem with that extra damage reduction and dodge chance, right? 90% chance to dodge. What is it? 50% damage reduction, 60, whatever it is. Then he's fine in slot 1, turn 1 for sure. Then after that, you put him in slot 2. He gets that extra chance to additional. You're building up a lot of support. I mean, you're building up a lot of stacks here. You keep him on rotation, you're gonna see the benefits of the stacking. So yeah, this Goku is gonna be pumping out big numbers. I think big numbers. Stats are looking pretty good. I think. Um, so yeah, so the only other thing to talk about really, you know, the traditional Dokkan way is to spoil something, and we're not missing that this time. So time travelers. So even if you haven't kept up with Daima, um, like I haven't kept up. I haven't been watching. I watched like the first 3 or 4, and I haven't been keeping up besides spoilers like on the timeline. But basically, this is actually a spoiler. This is no one really mentioned this. So we're gonna see Goku go back in time. Like eventually, I guess some of the Daima characters are gonna go back in time somehow. Interestingly enough, I wonder what's gonna happen. Someone had a theory. There's been some people posting that like, oh, this just means he was when he got the wish that Shenron put him back in time to make him a kid. Like it has to do with the wish and him being a kid type of thing. Like not actually time travel, but I don't think that holds any water because the other Daima characters we've gotten, the mini Goku, the free mini Goku and Vegeta, don't have time travelers. So if they did, then that would make sense. But then it'd be like, okay, maybe, yeah, okay. But they don't, so um interesting. Unless this is a mistake. But I don't know. This could be a huge spoiler. Time travelers, right? Other than that, Super Saiyan 2, I guess he goes that in the active. But basically what you're looking for, he looks very good. He looks very good for sure. I think he's going to be putting out some big attack stacks, big attack stats, for sure. So yeah, so that's basically it. So Glorio, so we have good old Goku, we have good old Glorio. Um, Overall, the hype level for me, I don't think like I don't know. Like people keep saying like, oh, Ultra Instinct came out in game an hour after he was revealed, but I feel like there was a lot of build up to that, right? Like that was a huge big moment. And it's like with these guys, it's just like we haven't had the big moment yet. Like especially like if you're global side, like if you haven't been watching the Japanese release because it hasn't even come out in English yet, which is a reasonable thing, right? A lot of people do wait or just don't even know they can watch it in Japanese first, right? So I don't know. I just feel like the hype hasn't like built up enough yet myself, but I do think Goku animations wise is looks amazing and Glorio's looks pretty good. And their kits are both very interesting. They're both you have to think a little bit. Like you do have to like there's gonna be situations where like you don't put them in the third attacker, and you're gonna have to remember. So we'll see. I don't know. I think overall they're very good. I like the support. I think Goku's big numbers go burr. Um, So yeah, so we'll see. So let me know down in the comments, you guys, what you think of the character selection, what you think of the new characters themselves and their kits. But until next time, you guys, it's been Jumbo Shark 19. Have a good one.